Okay, so you wanted to really get into the BMW 6 Series, right?
Yeah, you mentioned wanting to know more about it.
We've gone ahead and put together, I guess you could say, the whole story of the 6 Series from the very beginning
To right now.
to right now. It's your shortcut, I guess, to understanding what makes the 6 Series tick and some of the interesting turns it took along the way.
So we've gathered up information from all 4 generations of the car.
Wow.
We've got its market positioning figured out. We looked at the technical details of the last model. We looked at the design evolution.
Wow, really? The whole design?
We even brought in some experts to see what they thought, how it stacked up against the competition,
Oh, interesting.
safety features, even global pricing. We've got it all.
That's a lot.
It's quite comprehensive.
So to start, let's go back, way back at the beginning, the first 6 Series, the E24.
Oh yeah, 1976. This was a 2-door coupe. And you know what? It actually came after the E9 coupes.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, interesting, right? Those early E24s, they were known for their really smooth and durable engines. They had this straight-six engine, the M30.
Okay.
And you know BMW, they always like to make things go faster.
Sure.
So they made these high-performance versions. They had the M635 CSI and the M6. They had even more powerful engines than those, the M88 and S38.
Nice.
But here's a little tidbit. The specific engine you got actually depended on where you lived.
No way.
North America got something different than Japan.
Huh. That's fascinating. I always like those little market differences. Now, this first 6 Series, the E24, it was in production for quite a while, right?
Oh, yeah, for a long time. From 76 to 89.
That says something right.
Oh, yeah, huge success. They must have been doing something right.
Yeah, they must have. And get this. They moved production in-house to their plant in Dingolfing only 18 months in.
You know what that shows? They were really serious about quality control for this car.
That's interesting. It was like their flagship coupe.
Yeah, I guess it was. You know, thinking about it, it really fits into that whole Grand Tourer idea, right?
Yeah.
Sporty, elegant, comfortable for long drives.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, fast forward now. It's 2003. The 6 Series is back
Back again.
after 14 years.
Mhm.
And this time, it's the E63 Coupe, and they also had the E64 convertible.
Okay.
BMW is back in the luxury sports car game.
So this new generation, it was actually built on a shortened 5 Series platform, right?
That's right. And at first, you could get it with either an inline-six or a V8 petrol engine.
Okay.
But then, 2007 rolls around and they do a facelift. And guess what? They introduced the first ever diesel 6 Series, the 635 Pan.
Huh. A diesel.
It was clearly a move to, cater to that growing European market for diesels in luxury cars.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, and of course, the M6 was back too.
Had to be.
This time, they put a V10 engine in it.
Wow. A V10.
Yeah, and you could get it in both the coupe and the convertible. Real statement piece.
Yeah, a real powerhouse.
Then, just a few years later, in 2011, we got the 3rd generation, the F06, the F12, and the F13.
This is where it starts to get really interesting.
Right. This is where BMW added the 4-door Gran
The
Coupe.
Gran Coupe.
The F06, they gave it a longer wheelbase, and they made it a 4+1 seating arrangement.
Okay.
They wanted to keep that sleek coupe look, but make it more practical.
Gotcha.
They offered a bunch of different engines for this generation. You could get an inline-six, a V8 petrol engine, or even a diesel, the 640.
So many choices.
And some of them even came with xDrive, BMW's all-wheel drive system.
Yeah.
Now, here's something interesting. They actually stopped making the regular coupe and the convertible before they stopped making the Grand Coupe.
Really?
Shows you what people were looking for, I guess.
Yeah.
More space, more practicality.
Yeah. Fascinating. And what about the M6 during this generation? Did it get any love?
Oh, absolutely. They gave the M6 a twin-turbo V8 engine, and you could get it in all 3 body styles.
Yeah.
Coupe, convertible, and Grand Coupe.
Wow, they were really pushing those performance boundaries. So then we come to the final chapter, right?
The 4th and final 6 Series, at least the final one to carry that name, the G32, came out in 2017.
And this was a big change, wasn't it?
It was. This one was a 5-door fastback.
The Gran Turismo.
Exactly. It took over from the 5 Series GT, really focused on practicality and comfort for long drives.
Yeah, a real shift in focus. So what kind of engines did they offer with this one?
Well, they had turbocharged 4-cylinder and 6-cylinder engines,
Okay.
both petrol and diesel.
Okay.
And from 2021 onwards, they all got mild hybrid technology.
Interesting. So they were starting to electrify the 6 Series a bit there at the end, but sadly, all good things must come to an end, right?
Yeah, production of the G32 stopped in August of 2023. And as of now, early 2025, BMW doesn't sell any new cars with the 6 Series badge.
So what happened to the coupe, convertible, and Gran Coupe styles?
Well, they've moved up in the world. They're part of the 8 Series now. So if you're looking for a big, luxurious coupe, convertible, or four-door coupe from BMW, you've got to check out the 8 Series.
So BMW is really trying to refine its image in the luxury segment. Interesting. Let's take a closer look at that last 6 Series, the Gran Turismo. What made it stand out?
Well, it was kind of a mix between a sleek coupe and a practical sedan. It had a surprisingly spacious interior,
Okay.
and you sat a bit higher up in it. They even had this optional rear seat comfort package. Oh, and it came standard with the BMW Live Cockpit Professional.
What's that?
It's got two 12.3-inch displays, really high-tech stuff.
Nice. But I remember hearing that the exterior design was a bit, well, controversial.
Yeah, people either loved it or hated it. You know how it is with car designs.
Yeah, definitely subjective. But how did it actually drive?
Well, the reviews were generally pretty good.
Mm.
They said it was super comfortable, especially if you got it with the air suspension. And it was really practical, too.
So it lived up to that Gran Turismo name.
It did. And it actually competed with cars like the Mercedes-Benz CLS and the Audi A7 Sportback. But it had more space in the back, and it sat up a bit higher.
Makes sense. So did it do well in terms of safety?
Oh, yeah. It got a 5-star Euro NCAP safety rating. And they offered a bunch of driver assistance systems, both standard and optional. Real emphasis on safety there.
Good to know. And what about the price? Did it vary much around the world?
It did, yeah. Like in the UK, it was priced differently than in the US, where it's mostly on the used market now. And India had its own pricing structure, too. It really depended on the trim level and what the market demanded.
So we've seen the 6 Series go from a sporty coupe to a practical, though maybe not universally loved, Gran Turismo. Quite the journey.
It is, isn't it? And, with those classic coupe and convertible styles moving up to the 8 Series, it really makes you wonder what BMW is thinking.
Yeah, they're shaking things up. And this makes you wonder, what's next for those big, luxurious cars that aren't SUVs?
Maybe the 8 Series will keep evolving. Maybe it'll even capture some of that magic that the early 6 Series had.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? This deep dive is just a starting point, really. We could talk for hours about all the different engines and design details, but hopefully this gives you a good overview of the BMW 6 Series, its history, its ups and downs, what surprised you the most about it. Something to think about until our next deep dive.